What's up, YouTube? I just wanted to, hit you guys with another thing real quick. Every time a rapper becomes successful in the game, he immediately becomes a target. So if you get overnight success, just be careful with who you have around you, because it really can become dire as hell. All right. Couple more things. Never ever show where you're at or where you're staying at or anything that can be identified on Google Maps. If you want me to get into the Pop Smoke murder, he messed up in about 5 different ways, okay? For somebody who's really in that life, like hit list, like can put $50,000 on somebody's head, this is that kind of person that has that power. Because you are as responsible as the money you have. Remember that. So, the one thing that really stood out to me is on his Instagram live, he showed the whole design of the pool, which that pool specifically had a very unique design. So you already know that he's in Hollywood Hills, Beverly Hills area. And if you can look at the design of that pool when he's looking at it with all his friends sitting there, and it shows the design of it, it's almost like a rectangle with like a little slant at the end. So it's very noticeable. If somebody wanted to get on Google Maps and look through Hollywood Hills, they could find that pool. Another thing they messed up with, it's the way they parked their white Range Rover, and on top of that, the picture they took with the white Range Rover. Because in that picture, the dude was holding about, I would guess, over $20,000. And on top of that, it looked to be about $50,000 worth of jewelry between the both of them and clothing, okay? So a lot of money involved, and you can't wave a big chunk of zebra meat to a bunch of hyenas and not expect somebody to come and try and take that. This is California. They breed whole different types of people when it comes to violence and it's like the robbery capital. They've been on that, bro. They've been doing robberies out there, been doing home invasions. Anyway, so that was what he messed up with that. Another thing, lastly, this is the crazy part. So the people that came in, 4 people, the shooter, which is the main one, he didn't have an ulterior motive. He came there to do one thing and one thing only, and that was to eliminate Pop Smoke. The other guys might have done a robbery, but robbery wasn't the motive for the shooter, which made this case become a cold case, because it made it seem like robbery wasn't the motive. When all reality, LAPD probably didn't do their homework, and there was probably something taken, just not by the shooter. All those surveillance cameras. Making a getaway out there would not be so hard. If you had a low-key stolen car and you kept the lights off, changed out the license plate, it could be done. You could slide out and get to the major highway and disappear. Flow into traffic. And a neighbor freaking called it in at 5 in the morning. The thing was, man, on Pop Smoke's Instagram Live, he had about 5 motherfuckers with him. So you mean to tell me you really thought you were invincible, Pop Smoke? You really thought you kept guns on you? I know you got charged with a firearm in the past, but this is my advice for any young rapper that's in the game. Like, for real, you know what I'm talking about? For real. Like, you might become famous overnight kind of shit. Have your own security. Have your own strap. Be ready to defend your own life, because you can't always depend on somebody else to do it. I watched the tape after the Pop Smoke murder where they were on the scene late at night or early in the morning. And there were 3 guys that were witnesses to Pop Smoke's murders, meaning at least 3 of his friends were still around. One of them had an all camo suit. And I thought that was the same guy I saw earlier in the white Range Rover holding that big stack of cash. So you really got to watch who you got around you, man, because they might post on their Instagram and drop a location. But the 5th thing that Pop Smoke did was he actually showed a picture of him with the house number, partial house number, on the back. You know, when you get on Google Maps, you can just type the number in sometimes, and it shoots you to a location. Like, it already knows where you gotta go. Sometimes you can just put that little bit of a number in, and Google Maps will tell you there's a place in LA with that number, and it'll take you right to it, especially if it's, boom, Hollywood Hills. Let's go. We're going on a mission. And this isn't a robbery gone wrong. This is a straight up targeted hit. It's an assassin. It's somebody with about $50,000. And if you really want to know who I think it is, I think it's Honeycomb Brazy. Because he had disrespected Honeycomb Brazy on some, he was a bitch and he got shot up, laid him down, you know. So Honeycomb Brazy has $50,000. And there are some people that are hungry, so hungry that they are willing to travel from Dallas, from New York, all the way to LA just to catch this dude slipping. They might go to Las Vegas first and re-up on guns, because nobody's about to go to California and get guns unless they're connected. California has some of the toughest gun laws. I know, because I have all my family in California. I've been all up and down California. I know all about California. It's a different kind of heart and those kind of gangsters out there. I'm trying to save you the trouble. So if you go to California, like Boosie said, you got to keep your pistol, hand on your pistol, in your jacket at all times. Because motherfuckers will, especially if you were showing off. Look, man, I'm 25 right now. I wasn't always showing off like I used to show off a lot more. Life taught me to tighten up. Now it's a whole different level of violence that I'm willing to take it to if somebody wrongs me in life. And remember this last little piece of advice. If they come like this, masked up, they're most likely there to take what's yours and leave you with your life. If they come without a mask, they're not going to let you live. Because now you're a witness. They came to kill you. They came to take your soul.